Start to deepen your breath. And you can close your eyes, or you might look slightly downward, softening your gaze so that you can actually begin to gaze inward. It could be visualizing the length of your spine. You might feel the expansion of your rib cage. I just invite you to take a few deep breaths and feel your breath right now. Feel what feels right to you. And as you tune into your breath, you're turning on your parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the nervous system that's rest and digest. Consciously bringing yourself more internal. If you're willing to close your eyes and that's helpful, do it. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good. You can bring your hands onto your chest and onto your heart. Open palms into this area. And let's just connect to the energy of the heart today. However you feel that today for you. How's your heart? And then connect with any intention that would serve your heart today. And if you want to turn off your camera and practice in a little more private setting, do that. So as you're deepening and connecting into your heart, just knowing and trusting that the heart has a whole magnetic field that extends outside of the heart. And as we connect into the heart and as we breathe in there and amplify the energy of the heart or soothe the heart, maybe it needs, rather than amplification, maybe it just needs some soothing. You can practice in a way that gives your heart what your heart is craving. And you might not know, just simply breathing and connecting into your heart. Let your story unfold from there. Good. Open your eyes and we'll go into a twist. Bring your legs out in front of you and then bring your right foot in, right hand behind you. Inhale your left arm up. And exhale, you can twist holding the front of the shin, or you might go into a slightly deeper twist if it feels good at this point. I like to be back here for the first few twists. Lengthen your spine up tall. Use your exhale to twist. Feel for broadening across your rib cage and lifting your chest and your heart, lengthening up through the crown. Use your exhale to twist. And do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Good, let's come into a side bend and we'll start with some wrist stretches. Take your knee so you have greater than 90 degrees between your knee and your leg, and take your hands out to the side. Spread open the bones of your hands. Inhale here, shoulders are relaxed. Feel from your chest, from your heart, reaching out through your hands. And then exhale one finger at a time into a fist and roll the knuckles down. And you might feel a difference left to right. It's just noticing, what does your body need today? Do you need to give your wrist a little bit of a break? Do you need to stretch one more than the other? Do you activate one more than the other? Now turn your palms, face them forward, thumb side up, deep inhale. And then exhale your thumb and first fingers around the thumb, light squeeze there, and send the fists out, kind of like you're pouring a couple pitchers of water. And I like to just feel the band of muscle across my upper back soften. Let your shoulder blades just hang out on your back. Relax your jaw. And then from here, going into side bend, walk your hand down the inside of the leg, reach the other arm up and over, and let your head hang. You might turn to face the floor or let your head hang to the side. Breathe into the stretch that you're feeling on the right side, opening up your right side, like you could unfurl your wing. If you took a very deep breath, you might imagine your wing on your right side unfurling as you breathe into it. And feel what feels really good here, and remember your sweet heart. Can you open up a little bit on the left side, letting your head go for one more breath here. And then you'll take your top arm and reach it down by your hip and around. Grab a hold of clothing by your left hip. And then in this shape, you get to spiral your heart open, spreading across the collarbones. Relax your jaw, let your head hang. And breathe here, filling and expanding your rib cage. And we'll be here for 3 more breaths. You get to breathe in a way that feels really good to you, feeding your heart. Maybe it's spiraling the chest open, maybe not. Maybe you want to just keep your heart a little more closed. That's absolutely okay. All right, release the arm from around behind the back. You're going to ease your way upright and come into your twist on the other side. Bring your left foot in, stretch your right leg out, left hand behind you. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, come into your twist. We're wringing out the spine, shoulders are relaxed. Go up tall, right up through the crown of your head, and feel the expansion of your right leg along the floor, and spread out the bones of your feet. Use your exhale to twist, and then inhale again. Lengthening up, spreading. Can you open up your back ribs? Right there where your back ribs, back bottommost ribs attach to your spine. Feel into that little spot around where your kidneys are. And then come into a side bend here with some wrist stretches on this side. Take the hands out, relax your shoulder blades down. Feel your sit bones rooting into the earth. Grow your spine tall. Exhale, 1 finger at a time into a fist. Relax your shoulders, roll the knuckles down. Relax your jaw. I can really feel my right arm so much more than my left today. Inhale, reach the hands facing forward, thumb side up. Exhale, thumb in, fingers around the thumb, light squeeze there. And opening up the wrists, drag your shoulders down. Soften your front body, fill your back body for this next breath. And release that, walking into your side bend. Reach the left arm, unfurl your left wing, let your head hang. Find a comfortable way for your head to be so you can receive this breath. Your shoulders relax away from the ears, spread the bones of your feet open. Deepen your breath. Relax your shoulders down away from the ears. You might spiral your right ribs, the bottom ribs, into length and then slightly forward. Relax your head and your neck. 2 more breaths here. Feel with your breath where you might create a little more space. Where does it feel good to breathe? On your next exhale, take your top arm, reach it back around, and grab a hold of your right hip or clothing there, or your thigh, whatever you got. And relax the shoulders down. Let your head hang and open. If it feels good, open up the chest a little bit more. Left collarbone yearning away from the right, letting your head hang, neck is relaxed, and you can deepen your breath here. Release the arm from around behind the back. You're going to inhale your way up. Head's going to come up last. Come on up. And let's go to all fours and move a little bit. Go into your cat stretches. Leah, you're going to explore this cat stretch, find out what your shoulder can do or not. Moving from the spine, you can keep your arms straight. You might want to roll out your shoulders. You might want to roll out your hips. Feel what feels good to you. Maybe there's more wrist stretching that your body needs. You can lean back like I'm doing, stretching out my back and the backs of the toes. My toes are tucked under. That feels really good. For wrist stretches, turning the fingers back to point towards the knees. Anything goes here. Just Getting the kinks, getting your day out of your body. Shake the head, yes, no. Move any way that feels good. Really emphasize that this movement, this practice is for you. Always, I'm just a guide, you know? So you might bend one knee and then the other and explore downward facing dog now. In downward dog, you can walk it out, bending one knee deeply and then the other, or you might take your feet pretty wide, go almost as wide as your mat, and try taking your right hand to the back of your left calf or towards the ankle, and you'll get a twist, and you can press even more through your left hand and open up the left lat, left side of your body. Feel this twist. Take a huge breath into it, and then you'll go to the second side if you're doing this. And release. Let's come down. Take a resting breath in child's pose. All right, turn around. Lay down on your back. We'll do abdominal work. We'll start with elbow to knee, and then we'll go to some other fun places. All right. Lay down on your back. If you have a tender lower back today, you're going to work with your feet down, and you'll just bring the bent knee up so the knee ends up right over your hip. Otherwise, your feet are up off of the floor or at a wall. Clasp your hands behind your head. Inhale, head and shoulder blades up. Feel your lower back. Press down into the mat and curl your tailbone up so you send your knees straight up. Exhale, twist up and over towards your left thigh. Straighten your right leg and pull the lower belly down. Send the navel down towards the spine. Inhale, come back to center. Breathe, lower back down. Curl tailbone up. Exhale, twist to the right. Straighten your left leg. Pull the lower belly down. Keep your whole lower back and rib cage on the mat so you're not twisting and lifting up the left side. Inhale, come back to center so you don't twist that far that you're lifting up the opposite side. Press lower back down, curl tailbone up. Exhale, twist to the left, reach and straighten through the right leg. Pull the lower belly down towards the spine. Inhale, come back to center. Breathe lower back into the mat, curl the tailbone up. Exhale, twist to the right, straighten your left leg. Pull the lower belly down, send your right sit bone towards the tailbone. Inhale, come back to center. Breathe into lower back, curl the tailbone up. Exhale, twist to the left, straighten your right leg. Pull the belly down, send left sit bone towards the tail. Inhale, come back to center. Let's do 3 more on each side. Feel that sit bone move. It's the sit bone that you're twisting towards. It tends to hike up. Instead of letting it hike up, send it away. So a good cue is to send it towards your tailbone. Feel for that. Inhale, come back to center. Pressing the lower back down. Keep going. You got 2 more each side. Feel if there's any shakiness, you're doing it right. These are challenging, and you're really getting in, waking up different parts of your abdominal area. And release, head comes down, hug your knees into your chest. So you have the option today of going into either straddle legs, or you could come into frog. And if this is a lot on your inner thighs, go to a wall or a bed or a coffee table and put your feet on it so the feet are supported, and then it's less pulling on your hips. If you don't have access to that, try doing your abs like this with the feet down or your feet on books or blocks or something. Okay, frog lifting through or straddle lifting through, up to you. Clasp hands behind your head. Inhale, head and shoulder blades up. Feel the lower back, press it down. If you're in frog, flex your feet. Exhale, curl your tailbone up. Send the thigh bones away from each other and pull the lower belly down. Inhale, rest your head into your hands. Your elbows are straight up towards ceiling. Exhale, curl the tailbone up. Send the thigh bones out. Pull the lower belly down. Keep going for 6 more. If somewhere in here you want to switch it up and straighten the legs or bend the knees and do frog or straddle, if you've been doing one or the other, go for it. Release your head and shoulders down. Take your hands to your outer thighs and give your knees a big hug. And you're just going to rock a little bit side to side. And you can rock forward and back. And if you want to come up this way, it can be really fun. Keep yourself in a little ball. You're inhaling forward, come onto the balls of the feet. Exhale back, or you can just roll to the side to come up. But one way or another, come on up to stand. And we'll move through some sun salutations, get the body moving a little bit. Reconnect to the energy of your heart as you step up to the front of the mat. And if you want to pad your knees, go ahead and put a blanket across the center of your mat to pad your knees. All right, moving with the breath and with your heart. Inhale, lengthening your spine, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward, soft knees to protect your hamstrings. Take your right knee back and put it down on the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Feel the press of your front foot and the press of your back shin into the mat. Hands down. Step back to plank. You're at the top of a push-up. Reach back through your heels, forward through your chest and heart. You can lower down from here or bend the knees first to lower down more safely. Build strength in your upper back that way. Bring your hands forward 10 inches. Grip the floor. Pull your chest forward and up. Reach back through your toes. And exhale, come down and back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward between your hands, your left knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Hands down. Step up to the front of the mat. Exhale. Inhale, coming up, drawing the lower belly and reaching and lengthening the spine. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Take your left knee back and put it down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Hands down, step back to plank. Exhale, lower down. You can always put your knees down first. Low cobra, inhale. Exhale, back to downward dog. Lunge, step your left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step up to the front of your mat. And inhale, ride the breath, come up. All right, we're gonna move on into regular B series. Bend the knees, lower your hips, inhale into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift your fingertips on the floor or on your shins. Step back to the plank position and slowly come down. You can stick with cobras or add in upward facing dog. If that is something that feels good on your body, go for it. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Warrior one, step your right foot forward, spin the back heel down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Huge breath here, lengthening your spine, lifting the heart. Hands down, step back to your plank position. You can always put the knees down. You can always skip some of these. You can hold plank for strength, and that might feel good on your shoulder. Bring your left foot forward into warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Stepping back, you can take as many of these in between, coming into upward dog, or as few as you want. Exhale back. That's up to you, your shoulders, your wrists, your energy level. Let's take a full breath here in downward facing dog. Breathe into the back of your heart. Spread your shoulder blades away from the spine. And exhale everything out and jump up to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees. Lower your hips down. Inhale into chair pose. And exhale, stand. Hands at your heart. Again, bend the knees lower. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to plank. Follow your breath now. Exhaling. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, back to downward dog. Warrior one, right foot forward. Reach arms up. Hands down. Step back to plank. Again, feel free to do cat-cows or take longer time in downward dog if you don't want to do the chaturanga, that push-up in the middle. Warrior one, left side. Inhale, reach up. Hands down. Step back to plank. And lower. Feel if it feels good when you open your chest and your heart, and go for it even more. This is a back bend sequence, so emphasize the length of your spine as you arch. Let's take one more breath in downward facing dog. Exhale everything out. Jump or step your feet up to where your hands are. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Bend the knees. Sit down a little bit deeper. Inhaling into chair pose. And exhale, hands to your heart. All right, let's do one more. And you can do that on your own. You can do lunges. You can do warrior one. Do what really feels good in your body. I'm going to do regular B series, what we've been doing. You can follow along with me. Follow your breath. So when we practice kind of feeling and breathing into the heart and moving towards a back bend class, heating the body is really important. And also listening inward. You know, how's your heart today? You want to be tender and aware and kind of titrate in the heart opening. Feel what feels good about it. And leave the rest, right? Really lengthen the back of your neck as you're doing this so that, you know, we call it a back bend, but it's really a graceful arch of the entire spine. It's not just like bending at your back. So really lengthen there. Let's meet in downward facing dog and take a couple breaths here. Smooth out your breath. One more very full breath. You can micro bend your elbows, wrap your shoulders. So wrapping the shoulders, move the shoulder blades away from your spine and draw your front ribs in towards your back body. All right, let's do some warrior two poses. Bring your right foot forward and we'll do some shoulder shrugs. So I'm gonna lift up the camera so you can see. Okay, shoulder shrugs. Deep inhale into your upper back. Your right foot is forward if I didn't say it. Hold the breath, take the shoulders up, shoulders straight back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and draw down. Inhale into your upper back. Exhale, move the shoulder blades straight back, together and down. Bend your elbows, inhale into your upper back. Exhale, send the bottom tips of the shoulder blades and the elbow tips of the elbow tips towards each other. Okay, reach the arms out into warrior two. Inhale. And exhale into reverse warrior. Maybe the hands down the back leg. Maybe your left hand's on your left side of lower back. And then opening up the ribs. With a very deep bend in that front knee, you get to create a little more space on the whole right side. Press more into your front heel. Maybe you can breathe right into that spot where your hip bone meets the thigh and lengthen there. All right, from here, straighten your front leg and come forward into triangle pose. You might bring your back foot forward. You might use a block. So moving into chest opening. So your top arm, the palm is facing forward, and I'm gonna just lean my heart open. So this goes really well with letting the head hang because you don't want to torque your neck around. So find a good spot, maybe looking down, maybe just going straight out to the side. And then breathe into the left side of your chest. For shoulder, you might put your left hand on your hip or wrap the left arm around behind the back. Do what feels good on your body. All right, release, bend the front knee, step back, and lay down onto your belly for Shalabhasana. So laying flat on your belly, your arms by your side, reach through the toes, lift the feet, the hands, and the heart up. You don't lift up very high, go for length. Reach back through your toes. Maybe you even like you're on a kickboard, paddle your feet a little bit to loosen up the sacrum. Press the pubic bone into the mat, reach your chest a little bit more, shoulders away from your ears, and then exhale, ease on down and back to downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward. We're going into warrior two with shoulder shrugs. Relax your arms in front of your thighs. Take a deep inhale into your upper back. Hold the breath, take the shoulders up, shoulders straight back, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. And keep, I tend to jut my chin forward when I do that. You want to keep your neck really in one line and not turn on those muscles like that. So lengthen up through your crown. Inhale into upper back. Exhale, move the shoulder blades straight back together and down. Bend your elbows. Inhale into your upper back. Exhale, send the bottom tips of the shoulder blades and the elbow tips towards each other, squeeze together and draw down. Do one more round of those on your own. Keep it really fluid in the upper body. We tend to get really kind of crazy with this. I know I do. I get really don't do it with your arms. Just keep them really relaxed. Inhale into upper back. Go for it on your own. Just find upper, middle, and lower parts of your shoulder blades. Just gentle, finding your way. It doesn't have to be so strict and severe. All right, reach the arms out, deep inhale. Reverse warrior. And triangle pose with chest opener. Adjust your feet as you wish. Be light on the shins. You're not really resting onto that hand. And chest opener, opening up the right side of chest now. Spread out the bones of your feet. Sweet, easy breath. Can you take one more breath that actually it just feels kind of gentle to your heart? And then release, hands down, stepping back. Let's come down onto the belly. Again, Shalabhasana. Lift one leg at a time up and turn the top of the thigh, rotate it slightly inward. And then take the other leg, reach out, rotate that leg inward, and that'll give you more space in your sacrum. It's an internal rotation, inner thighs lifting up. Reach back, clasp your hands behind your back, drag the shoulders away from the ears, but not with any kind of strain, just to create space. Lift and reach back through the feet, forward through the chest and the heart, long back of the neck, and deepen your breath. And release. Press back, downward facing dog. Warrior one with archer arms. Step your right foot forward. In archer, you pat yourself on the back or drop a strap or a towel. The left elbow is going to be up, the right elbow down. And then feel into that graceful arc of your spine. So as you deepen the bend in your front knee, draw the lower belly in. Press into the outer edge of your back foot. Bring left hip slightly forward, outer left hip forward, and then open up your chest and heart. Deeper breath. Release, unwind the arms. Open twisting warrior. Put your left hand down on the mat, but give yourself some space, like 2 feet away from your right foot. And twist open. I'm going to turn my back to you. You'll see the back view. I'm going to reach the right arm up and spread across collarbones. And you keep a deep bend in your right knee, and as your right knee and right shin are moving forward, you're also pulling your right hip back at the same time. Feel all of that, right hip coming back, the shin yearning forward, and then spiral from the ribs. And release. From here, bring your hands down. Put your back knee down. You might want to pad that knee. We're going to come into lounge lunge. So your left hand's going to go forward and out to the side. Draw the shoulder down. If this bothers your shoulder at all to come into this, you could do arrow lunge. Arrow lunge is fun. You might want to just do that, lifting the back knee up with the back foot flat. Those are 2 options. If you're in lounge lunge and you would like to add grabbing a hold of the back foot, right hand to the left foot, open up. Release, unwind, step back. Let's come down onto the belly again. You're going to take your shoulders one arm at a time, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. Clasp the hands, and this time, instead of the wrists moving towards each other, interlace the fingers but pull the wrists away. Lift the feet, the hands, and the heart. Turn on the sit bones. Press pubic bone more into the mat. A little longer spine. And release. Head on back to downward facing dog. Warrior one with archer arms. Step your left foot forward. Right elbow is up, left elbow is down. Relax your shoulders. And take a deeper breath into your ribs, your side ribs. Press more into the outer edge of your back foot and bring your outer right hip forward. Relax shoulders. All right, release. Put your right hand down and twist open to the left. Here's your heart opening. So can you bring a little attention and awareness there? You're going to bend deeply into your left knee. Send the left shin forward. Pull your left hip back at the same time. And then open up your heart. If it feels good, letting your head hang. And release. So if you did arrow lunge on the other side, you're here, back foot is flat, knee is up. And you're in arrow. Otherwise, lounge lunge, lounge your right ribs towards the right hand. Maybe you want to take a hold of your your right foot with your left hand. Release, unwind. We're gonna come down onto the belly, and depending on your body, palms can be face up by your side. You could do this again, or you might bend your knees and grab a hold of your ankles, or grab the feet. If you have any knee issues, it might feel better if you can reach your ankles and flex your feet. That's what I like to do for my knees. That feels best. So reach back through the shins, open the chest and the heart. 5 breaths here. This is called Dhanurasana. It's bow pose, B-O-W. And release. Press back to downward facing dog. All right, step your right foot forward into lunge with the back knee up. Crescent, lunge. And let's start getting really connected to curling the tailbone towards the floor. You might bend your back knee like I did. Firm back of the left thigh and the buttock there. So you get very long in the lower back. My thumbs are on sacrum, fingers are forward. I'm firming the outer hips towards the center of my body and lengthening the sacrum down. You could do that similar move with the fists on the sacrum. And then lengthen and arc your spine. So remember, it's not just bending at the back. Can you lengthen and arc back? Get breath into chest and heart. And if you feel like clasping your hands at the base of your skull, go for a little rain cradle, elbows straight up towards ceiling, rest head into your hands. It can be a lot to balance in, try for it. Bigger breath. All right, release. Put the back knee down and pad your knee. Lunge, bringing the heel into the butt. So you're going to bring that heel in, and if this doesn't work on your body, stand up and take this as a quad stretch standing. Hold on to a wall for balance. And feel their tendency is to open up the left hip this way. Bring your outer left hip forward. So there's a very slight internal rotation of your front hip. And then you can feel this all the way down from, well, even from left shoulder down to the left knee. And then feel, how does this feel in your heart? Can you soften and relax somewhere? Sometimes we try to like hold ourselves up from our upper body, root down, ground, whoa. All right, our last lunge here, holding onto the foot with both hands. If you are standing and can balance like this, do this. Otherwise, come into crescent lunge. So you're kicking back and reaching the heart forward. So it's similar to bow, what we were doing just on the belly a moment ago, holding both feet. You're doing it now in a lunge, holding one foot. So feel the calibration of kicking back and letting that, let your heart yearn a little more forward and receive the breath there. And then release. All right, nice and slow. Let's move through any vinyasa of your choice. So that moment in between, we loosely call a vinyasa. It's not really what it means. of vinyasa actually means to place in a special way. So you get to place your body, your breath in a special way, bringing your focus. This is what we do on the mat, the entire thing, breathing. All right, take a slow, steady inhale and exhale. And come into crescent lunge. Your hands on your hips. A micro bend in the back knee. Elbows towards each other, lengthening your chest and your heart. So at its core, this practice, the physical practice of yoga, actually any practice of yoga, is a tool for harnessing the mind so we can come into meditation, so that we can be free of suffering, because the mind causes a lot of suffering as you go off on like crazy mind trains. Have right hamstrings firming in, butts turned on. You might bring your hands up to support your head. It's a balancing challenge today. All right, let's bring the knee down and pad your knee. So you bring your breath and your focus, your mind into where you're breathing, into sensation, into present moment. It's a meditative practice, bringing the heel into the butt. And largely, we spend a lot of time on the yoga mat, putting ourselves into really uncomfortable positions and just staying steady and learning to breathe and be present. So that's one of the ways that yoga trains us up for stressful situations. So maybe that's helpful at this time. You know, my yoga practice has been always, it's saved me on so many occasions. But I find now that the less demand I put on my practice to save me, and the more I just show up and I'm like, okay, how's it gonna be today? And let it be whatever it is. That's working very nicely lately. So I just offer that to you if it's helpful. All right, second one. You're kicking the shin back, opening up the chest and the heart. Or you're in crescent lunge, that's cool too. Relax the shoulders, feel the push-pull, the push forward of the heart, the pull back through the chest as you kick the shin back. And then where can you soften? Where can you receive the benefit? And even just for a breath, for one moment, can you feel inside, right here, right now? All right, release. We're gonna come onto the knees, so you might want to pad them. Camel pose. So the side view, my knees are hip distance apart, lined up right underneath my hip points that stick out, your ASIS. You're gonna press down through your shins, and you're gonna push your pubic bone forward. So right there, I'm really safe, and I'm kind of locked in and lengthening my lower back. So from there, you lengthen your spine upward. You keep your hips here. When you go back, if you go back ever, doesn't matter, you keep your hips where they are. So camel pose, you might stay right here. You might find that you can easily, without strain, bring your fingertips to your heels, but maybe not. And if you go back and you discover that feels crappy, come out of it, right? You should be able to breathe the whole time. Neck should feel good. My neck felt crappy going back, so I'm in this sort of mid-zone where my chin is up, and that's feeling great and fun. The more you lift your chest before you let your head go back, the less strain there is on your neck. This pose does not hurt your neck. If you come into it and it's straining your neck, that's not how it's supposed to be. People think so, but when you lift the chest and the collarbones, it creates a natural shelf for your neck, so it should feel good. That being said, if it feels crappy, don't do it. Or use a towel, wrap the towel around and support like that. We're gonna do one more of these. Up to you. If you keep your hands on your lower back or if you take your hands back to your heels. All right, ease on out of that. We're gonna stand up and come into dancer. If you like taking dancer with a strap, I highly recommend it. Take a strap around the foot. I think I'm gonna do a Saul's strap today. So what that does is opens up one side of the chest and then you do the other. So standing on your left leg, hold on to your right foot. That right knee goes straight back. The tendency is to take the knee out like this. You want to take it straight back. So the knee actually, if you were looking in a mirror, it would disappear back behind you. So I'm going to bring my right hip more forward. You probably, if you saw that, it was pretty significant. The right hip naturally goes back and you want to still bring that outer right hip forward. Different variations, of course. In the Bikram school, they let the hip disappear way back and then they come down to an almost flat position. It's just a different way to play. It's not wrong, it's just different. Left hand holds onto the left foot. Letting that knee disappear straight back and then bringing outer left hip forward. All right, release. Come down on your back. I'm going into bridge, and maybe if you've got it in you, we're going to do wheel 2. All of it. All right. If bridge and wheel do not sound good, you are so welcome to do a back bend that does feel good, or skip it all. Come into pigeon or a twist. Do what feels good on your back. All right. Those of you coming into bridge, you could also come into bridge and slide that block underneath your sacrum and take a really sweet restorative bridge there over the block. So turn it on your legs. Maybe this is where you want to stay. You want to just chill here. You can take one shoulder at a time underneath, clasp the hands, and breathe all the way up to chest. You got 5 to 10 breaths. I'm going to cut you loose, and I'm going to go into wheel. Hands by the shoulders, push all the way up. 5 to 10 breaths here. All right. Since this is an intermediate class, if you have a wall spot, we can do wheel flips or wheel walkovers if you want. If you don't want, you do one more bridge or one more wheel. If you're doing a wheel walkover, you might watch me first. You come into wheel, my toes are up the floorboard. I'm gonna walk one foot up. I could stay here. This feels really, really good coming into a lunge, or we'll walk over flipping it like that. That was really fun. I'm gonna do it again. And maybe try the other leg, which is really scary actually for me. All right. So wherever you are, let's come out of that and find horse stance. So wherever you are, you're gonna make your way up to stand and come down into a giant squat. And take a twist. Take your left shoulder over to the right. Twist the other way. Now release. Fold forward, straight legs, take a forward fold. Anything that you want to do. You can come into flank stretch, grab a hold of one leg. All right, from there, make your way down to a seat. Extend your legs out in front of you. Shake it out. We're gonna come into a forward fold. So if you have tight hamstrings, you can use a strap, or you could just have your knees bent. And you can also sit up on a blanket. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, you're hinging forward from the hips. Maybe you're holding the feet, maybe you're holding somewhere on the legs. Lengthen your chest forward. Shoulders are down, heart is open. So you see my back is long and flat. It's not rounded. You don't want this, you want this. All right, release. We're gonna come into a forward fold with a bind. Bring your right foot in. Marchasana A, you're gonna reach your right arm forward and around. You can drop a strap or a towel around behind there. Relax the right shoulder and yarn your chest forward towards the shin, taking a forward fold with a little bit of a bind. The bind is great because it lets you traction out that shoulder. All right, coming up, hold on, keep the bind if you have it, and you're just gonna lift that right foot up. And then you lean away, so I'm leaning over to the left, and I get a really nice stretch across the neck and the upper back of the shoulder. And you might rotate your chin more towards the floor. And then bring the foot back down and then release the hands or release the bind. And we'll do the second side. I'll give you a different view. So reaching left arm forward and around, bind, and let your chest move towards the shin. Relax your neck, let your head hang. All right, coming up, foot comes up with, and you just lean over to the side, and this gives you a really nice stretch for the neck. If it doesn't feel good, feel free to find a neck stretch just with the foot down and the hand out to the side. We'll bring the foot down, release the bind, and lay down on your back. We're going to start this next sequence laying down on the back with the soles of the feet together, and you'll hold the outside edge of the feet and bring the feet down towards your chest. So in this variation of Baddha Konasana, it's your lower back comes up off of the mat, and it should help release it. But if it just does not feel good, do happy baby. You just don't get as much of a back release. But we've got a couple more back releases coming. So whatever you get here, enjoy. Breathing into the sacrum and the lower back. Neck and jaw relaxed and soft. And release the feet. Put the soles of the feet down for back traction. Now you can press your lower back down into the mat, or you could stay in a slightly neutral spine with there being a little curve in your lumbar. That might feel best. Find out what feels best. You're going to put your hands on the tops of your thighs and you press forward. That traction's out your back. And then you can add some breath to this, which heightens it. So you'll inhale and exhale everything out. And up to you, you can keep the natural curve in your spine or flatten it out. Find out. So flattening it, you're curling the tailbone like we do in abs, or not. And find out what's going to work better for your body today. Chin to chest. You might pull into Uddiyana if you know it, if that feels good. Uddiyana is pulling belly in and up, flaring the ribs with no breath. All right, release that. Cross your right ankle over the left thigh. Make a number 4. Flex the feet and reach through. Grab a hold of the shin. Hug yourself in. If you're like me and pretty flexy through that hamstring, you might want to do this and hold towards the foot. And also, if you're flexy like I am, you might not want to bring the leg in all the way. You might keep the lower back down and work this way. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching my right thigh and hip away from my shoulder, and that's counteracting the pull of my leg. And I could accentuate that, take right hand onto right thigh and bring the leg in as I'm tractioning my right hip out, bringing the left leg in. There's lots of options for this, including just chilling, holding on to the shin, and receiving the benefit of this pose. Releasing the lower back, the right side of sacrum in particular. Right bend, come out of that. Go to the second side. Cross the left foot over the right thigh. And you feel into it. Feel your way there, right? Do you want to hold on to the shin or the leg? All right, release. We'll take a twist with the legs intertwined. Take your right thigh, wrap it around the left. Shift your hips over to the right. Send your knees to the left. Then your arms can come out in a T or arms like cactus arms. And enjoy this twist, freeing up the right side of your ribs, right side of lower back. If wrapping the legs becomes too much, unwind them. From there, unwind your legs first. Then bring one leg at a time up so you don't pull on your sacrum. Shift your hips back to center. Wrap the left leg around the right. Shift your hips to the left of center and send your knees to the right. And breathe here. All right. Unwind the legs first. Then come back up. Hug your knees into your chest. You have time for another lower back stretch. And it could be plow. You could take your legs up and over. You could just stay here. You probably don't want to be turning your head. You definitely don't want to turn your head like I just did to look at the camera. Look straight ahead. You can come from here, from this plow. You could do anything. You could bend the knees. You could hang out. You could go into a shoulder stand if you want. If you want something else for your lower back, I would recommend going to a wall, putting your legs up the wall, and that could be your rest, your shavasana time. You would get an extra shavasana, extra long one, if you wanted to do that now.